Hello all, this is Sandeep Kumar and I welcome you back to my YouTube channel Math with Sandeep. We are in the chapter of limits and in today's topic let us discuss some problems on trigonometric limits. In the previous video we have discussed the concept of trigonometric limits and let us use those basic formulae to solve as many problems as possible on trigonometric limits. Some of the questions are written on the board that we are going to discuss in today's class. So let us discuss questions one by one. And if you are new to the channel, please do not forget to subscribe the channel. Okay, yes. Here is the first question, very easy question. Limit x approaches 0, sin 5x into sin 6x divided by x into tan 3x. First of all, if I go with direct substitution and if I substitute x value as 0, the numerator is sin 0 into sin 0 divided by 0 into tan 0. Of course, it is in the form of 0 by 0. Now let us start using the trigonometric limits. Do you remember this formula? That limit x approaches 0, sin kx divided by x equal to k. We have just discussed it in the previous video. And similarly, limit x approaches 0, tan kx divided by x is also equal to k. Let us use this fact. See, sin 5x needed x in the denominator. Sin 6x also needs x in the denominator. So I want x into x, which means x square in the denominator of numerator. So what I'll do is, let me divide the numerator and denominator by x square. What happens, dear students, if I divide? So limit x approaches 0, sin 5x into sin 6x. The numerator is divided with x square na, here by x and here by x, because x into x will be x square anyhow. Divided by the denominator x into tan 3x is also divided by x square. So observe, x and square gets cancelled. Now limit can be given for these three functions. Okay now, so limit x approaches 0, sin kx by x is k. So here this will give you 5 into, and this will give you what? K value is 6 na, divided by, and this will give you 3. Even tan kx by x is also k only na, so tan 3x by x is also 3 when limit x approaches 0. So 3 1s are 3 2s are, the answer is 10. So the answer for the first question is 10. Okay. Similarly, if I solve the second question, please observe one thing. You should remember the trigonometric formula, basic trigonometric formula. What is it? We know that 1 minus cos theta is 2 sin square theta by 2. 1 minus cos theta is 2 sin square theta by 2, and I am going to use that formula here. So limit x approaches 0. Anyhow, why we have to simplify it without direct substitution? Because if I substitute x as 0, it will be in 0 by 0 form. You can substitute and we can check it. Okay, let me simplify using trigonometric formula. 1 minus cos theta is 2 sin square theta by 2. So 1 minus cos px is 2 sin square px by 2 whole divided by. Again 1 minus cos qx is 2 sin square qx by 2. Instead of theta we have qx. Okay, now I just used this formula in the numerator and also in the denominator. 2 and 2 will get cancelled. And dear students, if it is sin kx, I will divide with x. If it is sin square kx, I should divide with x square. So let me divide the numerator and denominator by x square. Then what happens here? Limit x approaches 0, sin square p by 2x divided by x square whole divided by sin square q by 2x and also divided by x square. So dear students, I can write this as what? Limit x approaches 0, the numerator becomes sin p by 2x by x whole square. Correct or not? Here also we have square, here also we have square. I have taken whole square. And in denominator also, I can write it as sin qx by 2 divided by x whole square. So now let me apply that formula. Sin kx by x will become k when x is approaching 0. So the k is p by 2. In the numerator I will get p by 2 whole square. And similarly sin kx by x will be k. What is that k here? Q by 2. And do not forget q by 2 also has whole square. So by 4 will get cancelled. You will get p square divided by q square. That is the final answer. P square by q square. That is the answer for this question. So for this question we got 10 as the answer, and here we got p square by q square as the answer. Two basic questions. Okay, now let us continue with next questions. So limit x approaches 0, 1 minus cos cube x divided by sin 4x into sin 7x. If I directly substitute x as 0, the numerator is 1 minus cos cube 0. So you'll get 0 in the numerator and at the same time 0 in the denominator. It is in the form of 0 by 0. Okay now. So what am I going to do is, first of all, by observing the numerator itself, I understood what identity I am going to use. What is that identity? A cube minus b cube. Very, very important identity. We will use it in many of the chapters. A cube minus b cube is once again a minus b into a square plus ab plus b square. Do remember this, students, very, very important identity. So in numerator, if I use that formula, 1 means 1 cube only. Na? So a cube minus b cube, what is it? A minus b into a square plus a into b plus b square. Correct or not? Here a is 1 and b is cos x. So a minus b into a square plus ab plus b square. I have used this identity. Whole divided by sin 4x into sin 7x as it is. As you observe, sin 4x needs x in the denominator if I want to use the formula. And similarly, sin 7x also needs x in the denominator. These two need x in the denominator. Now x into x is x square. So for this reason, let me divide the numerator and denominator with x square. Limit x approaches 0, 1 minus cos x divided by x square whole divided by sin 4x into sin 7x divided by x square. Divided by x square means by x, because x into x is x square. And what happened here? We can directly substitute limit x approaches 0. Let me write it as limit x approaches 0 for this function. 1 plus cos x plus cos square x. I just separated limit for this one and also this one. Here you can directly substitute x as 0. So how much do you get here? This is cos 0, 1. This is cos square 0, 1. 1 plus 1 plus 1 will become 3. So this number is 3. We can take it outside. So 3 into, dear students, already we have discussed this formula in the previous video. I told that this will be used directly in solving the problems. Limit x approaches 0. 1 minus cos x by x square is 1 by 2. Whole divided by. Limit x approaches 0. Sin kx by x is k only na. So this will give us 4 into this will give us 7. So what is our final answer? It is equal to 3 divided by 2 4s are 8, 8 7s are 56. 3 by 56 is our answer for this question. I hope you understood this. We'll go with next question. Fourth question. Limit x approaches 0, cos mx minus cos nx whole divided by m square. Okay, now what am I going to do? The first idea, the first step is very important. So I am going to use cos c minus cos d formula. In trigonometry, we learned that cos c minus cos d is equal to minus 2 sin c plus d by 2 into sin c minus d by 2. So I am going to use this formula in the numerator. What is it, dear students? C is mx and d is nx, where m comma n are some numbers, real numbers. Okay na? So cos c minus cos d, minus 2 into sin c plus d, that means mx plus nx divided by 2 into sin c minus d by 2. So that means mx minus nx divided by 2. The common denominator is x square, the denominator is x square na? Let me separate it. Under the product, this will get x and this will get x. So you can take minus 2 outside and limit x approaches 0. Dear students, this is sine of, observe, in the numerator I can take x common. And if x is taken common, I am left out with m plus n divided by 2. I am left out with m plus n divided by 2. Similarly, if I take x common in these two, so sine of, if I take x common, you will get m minus n whole divided by 2. Okay na? And the common denominator is already there by x and by x. And just we are repeatedly using one formula. What is it? Limit x approaches 0, sin kx by x is k. Correct or not? So minus 2 into, so what is that k here? M plus n divided by 2. Again here also sin kx by x is k. So what is that k here? M minus n divided by 2. Into 2 by 2 will get cancelled. So m plus n into m minus n is m square minus n square, and of course there is minus before this. whole divided by 2. This is the answer. If you want, you can also write it as minus into minus plus n square minus m square divided by 2. So this can be the answer or this can be the answer. So this is the answer, dear students, for this question. N square minus m square by 2. I did all these steps just because in direct substitution you are getting 0 by 0 form. You can check it. Okay. We'll go with next question. Okay, next question. X approaches pi by 2, numerator by denominator. First of all, if I substitute x as pi by 2, the numerator is 0, the denominator is also 0. We are getting 0 by 0 form. See how I am going to solve this. That idea is important, correct or not? And how did I get that idea is by seeing 90 minus x. By seeing 90 minus x, I am getting this idea. So what am I going to do is, dear students, limit x approaches pi by 2, 1 minus, instead of writing sin x, I'll write cos of 90 minus x divided by 90 minus x as it is into, instead of cos x, can I write sin of 90 minus x? Sin of 90 minus x. This is needed. So I just converted sin x as cos 90 minus x and cos x as sin 90 minus x. Next, what I'm going to do is very simple. If x is approaching pi by 2, then x minus pi by 2 is approaching 0. Correct or not? Or else we can also write that if you take x to the right side, pi by 2 minus x is approaching 0. So I will take this as y. So let y is equal to pi by 2 minus x. So pi by 2 minus x is approaching 0 na? Pi by 2 minus x is y. So y is approaching 0. So I am changing the question. How do I change? Limit. Instead of writing x approaches pi by 2, I will write y approaches 0. So the question becomes 1 minus cos, this is y, whole divided by y into sin y. Now this is easy, I think. You will get the ideas. When y approaches 0, if sin y is there, I would like to have by y in the denominator. Why? Because this value will become 1 at this. So I divided with y, so I will also multiply with y. I divided with y, so I will also multiply with y. Next, dear students, the question becomes limit y approaches 0, 1 minus cos y divided by y into y is y square, whole divided by sin y by y. Correct? And look at this again, we got this. When x approaches 0, 1 minus cos x by x square is 1 by 2. And similarly, when y approaches 0, 1 minus cos y by y square is 1 by 2. I think this is the third time we are using it. Whole divided by limit y approaches 0, sin y by y is 1. So what is the answer, dear students? 1 by 2. The answer is 1 by 2. We'll go with next question. Our next question, limit x approaches pi by 6, which means 30 degrees. 3 sin x minus root 3 cos x divided by 6x minus pi. First of all, you substitute x as pi by 6. Sin pi by 6 is 1 by 2. So you will get 3 by 2 minus cos pi by 6 is root 3 by 2. So root 3 into root 3 by 2 is also 3 by 2. 3 by 2 minus 3 by 2 will be 0 in the numerator. Substitute x as pi by 6 here. So by 6 into 6 cancels. Pi minus pi is also. So this question is again in what is it, 0 by 0 form. How do I do it? That's very important. Now, what idea are we going to get? Please observe here. The idea is very important to solve these kind of questions. See, what I'm going to do is, just like the previous question, I'll take 6 common in the denominator. If I take 6 common in the denominator, I'll get x minus pi by 6. Correct? Look at this. X minus pi by 6 is important. I'll do something and I'll also create x minus pi by 6 in the numerator also. So what I will do is, see, what I'm going to do is, first I'll take root 3 common into, I took root 3 common now, I'll get root 3 sin x minus cos x divided by 6 into x minus pi by 6. Next, dear students, if there is by 2 here and there is by 2 here, this becomes sin a cos pi by 6 into cos a sin. That means it becomes sin a cos b minus cos a sin b. If by 2 is there. So for this reason, what I will do is, I will take 2 common. So in these two terms, if I take 2 common, Since I took 2 outside, a 2 is generated in the denominator by 2 by 2. So what is it, dear students? Take 2 root 3 by 6 outside. 2 root 3 by 6 outside into limit x approaches pi by 6. What is it? Sin x cos pi by 6 minus cos x sin pi by 6. It is sin a cos b minus cos a sin b, sin of a minus b. So dear students, when x is approaching pi by 6, this is called f of x, this one. When x is approaching pi by 6, if I substitute x as pi by 6, I will get pi by 6 minus pi by 6, 0 only na. So that means this is in what form? This is in what form? Limit x approaches pi by 6, f of x approaches 0, sin f of x divided by f of x. Limit f of x approaches 0, sin f of x divided by f of x is also equal to 1. This is what we have discussed in the previous video. So therefore this entire value will become 1. 2 1s are 2 3s are, and you can leave the answer as root 3 by 3 into 1. Into 1 not needed, no? Or you can rewrite this 3 as root 3 into root 3. So you will get 1 by root 3 as answer. Write this 3 as root 3 into root 3. Root 3 cancels. You will get 1 by root 3 as answer. So the answer is root 3 by 3 or 1 by root 3. Anything is fine. So that is the answer for this question. I will give you one question on this model. You can try it and let us know what is the answer in comment section. So here is our 7th question. You can try this and let us know what is the answer in comment section. Okay, now try it certainly and let me know the answer. We will go with next question. Okay, another model here. This looks like previous models only, na? But instead of root 3 sin h minus cos h, we have pi by 6 plus h. It's okay. Let us see how to solve this. In this question also what I am going to do is, if by 2 and by 2, that means 1 by 2 is there, I can call it as sin a cos b minus cos a sin b. Correct or not? I want by 2. So what I will do is, since you want by 2 here and here, so I will take 2 common in the numerator. I will take 2 common in the numerator. Okay, now. So limit h approaches 0, root 3 by 2 into sin of pi by 6 plus h minus 1 by 2 into cos of pi by 6 plus h. So what I did, dear students, I just took 2 common. Okay, now denominator is root 3h. And what I am going to do is, I will give this limit separately for this function. Why should I give it separately? Means limit h approaches 0, 1 divided by root 3 cos h minus sin h. Why should I give limit separately for this function? Means if you directly substitute h as 0, what will you get? Cos 0 is 1. So 1 into root 3 minus sin 0 is 0. So you will get 1 by root 3 here. So 1 by root 3. There we can directly substitute. So I took it separately and I have substituted. Okay, now. And next observe by root 3 by root 3. So root 3 into root 3 in the denominator is 3 with 2 outside. So let me take 2 by 3 outside. So limit h approaches 0. Now dear students, sin a into cos b. What is cos b? Cos pi by 6. Cos 30 degrees only, na? Minus cos a into sin b. That means sin 30 degrees. Whole divided by, I took root 3 already outside. We have only h. This is in the form of sin a cos b minus cos a sin b. So which is sin of a minus b only, right? Okay, let me write it here. So it is equal to 2 by 3 into limit h approaches 0. Sin a cos b minus cos a sin b is sin of a is pi by 6 plus h minus b is pi by 6 whole divided by h. Plus pi by 6 and minus pi by 6 gets cancelled. So 2 by 3 into limit h approaches 0, sin h by h is 1. So the answer is, dear students, 2 by 3. The answer is 2 by 3. Okay, we will go with next question. So 9th question. If I directly substitute x as 0, cos 0 is 1. 1 into pi is pi. So sin pi is 0 in the numerator and 0 square is 0 in the denominator. again 0 by 0 form. But look how I'm solving this question. The way we are solving is important. See, when x approaches 0, this is f of x. Let me call this as f of x. When x approaches 0, if f of x also approaches 0, correct or not? Is it approaching 0? Wait a second. It is not approaching 0. Then what I'll do? Look what I'm going to do. So I'll convert this as sine of sine theta is sine 180 minus theta. Correct or not, dear students? What is it? Sine theta is sine 180 minus theta, sine pi minus theta. So now what happens here? Limit x approaches 0, sine of here and here, if I take pi common, you get 1 minus cos square x. What will you get? 1 minus cos square x. And we all know that sine of pi into 1 minus cos square x is sine square x, identity, whole divided by x square. Now this is f of x. When x approaches 0, sine square 0 is 0. 0 into pi is 0. Correct or not? So this f of x is approaching 0. So dear students, if it is sine of f of x, I would like to have f of x in the denominator. So what I will do is, in the next step, limit x approaches 0, sine of pi into sine square x. If it is sine of f of x, I would like to have f of x in the denominator. So which means I divided with pi into sine square x. So I will also multiply with pi into sine square x. And already we have x square in the denominator. So dear students, when x approaches 0, our f of x, who is that f of x? Pi sine square x. Our f of x also approaches 0 na. So sine f of x by f of x is 1. We discussed it in the previous video. Okay na? Then into pi into. This is sine x by x whole square. Sine x by x whole square. Where limit x approaches 0. And limit x approaches 0, sine x by x is also 1. So 1 into pi into 1 square. The answer is pi. I hope it's easy for you. The answer is pi. See, initially this f of x is not approaching 0. I did a small correction, a small 2 steps. We got this. Now this f of x is approaching 0. This is what we must do while solving the problems. This is the kind of idea we should get while solving the problems. Okay? I hope you understood this. We'll go with next question. Already we have got the answer for this question in using expansions. If you use tan x expansion and sin x expansion, in 2 steps you'll get the answer. Okay, now let us also learn how to get the answer using trigonometric limits. See dear students, step 1. Let me write tan x as sin x by cos x minus sin x as it is and x cube as it is. Next step, in numerator I can take sin x common. Here and here we can take sin x common into 1 by cos x minus 1 whole divided by x cube. And in the next step, limit x approaches 0, sin x as it is, 1 by cos x minus 1. Let me take common denominator. 1 into 1 is 1 minus cos x 1s are cos x whole divided by cos x. And already in denominator we have x cube. Next dear students, the next step, we are very close to our answer. Limit x approaches 0, sin x by cos x is tan x into, we also have 1 minus cos x, and in denominator we have x cube na. I'll write x here and x square here. See, again we got the same thing. We have used it in the previous problems. The limit of tan x by x is 1 and the limit of 1 minus cos x by x square is 1 by 2 when x approaches 0. So the answer is what dear students? 1 by 2. We are using it in many problems, I told you. And you can also remember this question's answer because even this question is also, this also might repeat in many problems. Limit x approaches 0, tan x minus sin x by x cube is also 1 by 2. You can also remember this important question. It might be used in some other questions directly. Okay, now we'll go with next question. So here is our next question, 11th question. 1 minus cos x minus cos 2x plus cos x into cos 2x divided by x power 4. You substitute x as 0 and see the numerator will be 0, the denominator will be 0. So it will be again in what form? 0 by 0 form. And dear students, after observing the numerator for some time, you should understand that you have to get that idea. What is that idea? We can factorize the numerator. How do we factorize the numerator? In the first two terms, obviously there is nothing to take common, so I'll take 1 common. We can take 1 common, 1 into 1 minus cos x. In the next two terms, I can take cos 2x common, and particularly I will take minus cos 2x common. So in the third term, I took minus cos 2x common, we have 1 here. Minus into minus will be plus, and I took cos 2x outside, we have cos x. So here and here we have taken minus cos 2x common. You should get this idea of factorization. Whole divided by x power 4. In 2 steps you will get the answer. Limit x approaches 0. Here and here we can take 1 minus cos x common into 1 minus cos 2x. And denominator is then x power 4. Separate it. X square, x square. Look at this person, he came again. I told you to remember this now, 1 by 2. And this value also, in previous video we told you to remember this value also, 1 minus cos 2x by x square, its value will be 2. I told you to remember these two values directly when x approaches 0. This is 1 by 2 and this is 2 and the answer is 1. See, if you remember their values, obviously we can complete the solution as quickly as possible. We will go with next question. Limit x approaches 0, 1 minus cos of 1 minus cos x divided by x power 4. So which formula we will use to simplify this question? Obviously 1 minus cos x only. We know that 1 minus cos theta is 2 sine square theta by 2. Correct or not? I am going to use that formula. Limit x approaches 0, 1 minus cos of 1 minus cos x. 1 minus cos x will be 2 sine square x by 2. Okay na? Dear students, I am not going to take a lengthy process. Let me make it simple. The numerator looks like in the form of 1 minus cos f of x. And when x approaches 0, substitute x as 0, what will you get? 2 sine square 0. 2 sine square 0 value is 0 only. That means what? This f of x approaches 0. So what I am going to do is, it's better if you have, if it is 1 minus cos f of x, it's better if you have f of x whole square in the denominator. Why? Because limit f of x approaches 0, 1 minus cos f of x by f of x whole square is also 1 by 2. For that reason, so what I'll do is, if this is f of x, so numerator is 1 minus cos of f of x. I'm sorry. So this is our f of x. I would like to have f of x square in the denominator. I divided with this. Let me also multiply with the same thing. Okay, now already we have x power 4 in the denominator. I hope you understood this step. I am trying to get the answers as quickly as possible. So limit x approaches 0, f of x also approaches 0 na? Correct or not? Yeah. So then this value, so 1 minus cos f of x by f of x whole square will be 1 by 2, and give limit only here. Okay na? So what is it? Into limit x approaches 0, so 2 square will be 4, into this will be sine x by 2 whole power 4, 2 2s are 4 na, power 4, divided by x power 4. So you can take 4 outside. 4 into 1 by 2 will be 2. Correct or not? 4 into 1 by 2 will be 2. So 2 into limit x approaches 0, sin x by 2 by x whole power 4. I can take whole power 4. Sin x by 2 by x whole power 4. And this is in the form of sin kx by x when x approaches 0. So inside we will get k. Correct or not? K is 1 by 2. So this is equal to 2 into k is 1 by 2 whole power 4. Simplify. 2 into 1 by 2 whole power 4 is how much? 2 by 16. The answer is 1 by 8. The answer is how much? 1 by 8. I hope you understood this step. It is in the form of 1 minus cos f of x. Now I would like to have f of x square in the denominator. Or else you can also do one thing. Let f of x is y. Okay, so limit y approaches 0. 1 minus cos y divided by y square is 1 by 2 only, right? You can also do like that. I hope you understood this question. We will go with next question. Another question which is very easy question, but we will use the concepts. Okay, na? Very simple concepts only. So let us take the question. Limit alpha approaches 0. They told that this limiting value is 0. In that case, what relation can we create between m and n? Is m greater than n, or m less than n, or m equal to n, or we cannot say any of this? Let us see. Very simple question. I will divide the numerator with alpha power n. Because if it is sin f of x, I would like to have f of x in the denominator. So also multiply with alpha power n. And denominator is sin alpha whole power m. If it is sin alpha, I would like to have alpha in the denominator. Because sin alpha by alpha will become 1. Okay, na? Since you divided with alpha power m, I divided with alpha power m, I will also multiply with alpha power m. So dear students, so therefore what we have got is limit alpha approaches 0. Sin f of x by f of x is 1 only, na? Because when alpha approaches 0, f of x also approaches 0. Correct or not? So this will become 1 into alpha power n. Again, limit alpha approaches 0. Sin alpha by alpha is 1 only, na? So 1 power m will be 1 into alpha power m. So what we got is, dear students, limit alpha approaches 0. I got alpha power n by alpha power m. So alpha power m minus m. Look at this. Already alpha is approaching 0. So alpha, the base is 0.0000 something whole power n minus m. Now there are three possibilities. First of all, if m and n both are same, what happens? N minus m will become 0, correct or not? The power will become 0 now. See, if n is equal to m, then what I will get is 0.0000 and so on, power 1, power 0. Power exactly 0 because n and m are same. So some number power 0, you will get 1 as the answer. I will get 1 as the answer. So the answer will become 1 if the power is equal to 0. But answer should not be 1. My answer should be 0. What is the meaning of it? So therefore, m and n cannot be equal. It is not third option. Okay, now what if the power is a negative number? What if the power is a negative number? That means what? What if m is greater than n? Then I will get what? 0.000 and so on. Power negative number, some negative number. And I have to convert the power as positive. I will write 1 divided by 0.0000 and so on, power positive number. And this is in the form of 1 by 0, it becomes infinity. The answer becomes infinity. When the answer becomes infinity, if m is greater than n, that means what? If m is greater than n, the power becomes negative number. And because of this, I'll get this and I'll get infinity as the answer. But I want the answer as 0. What is the meaning of it? Option 1 is also not correct. And what if m is less than n, dear students? See, if m is less than n, that means n is larger value and m is smaller value. Then automatically what will you get here? If m is less than n, the power is positive number. And 0.0000 and so on, power positive value will be 0 only. Na? So the answer will be 0 when, dear students? When m is less than n. Think about it. Easy question only. Okay, na? We'll go with next question. Next question. If I substitute x as 1, the numerator will be 0, the denominator will be 0. Again, it is in the form of 0 by 0. And please observe one thing, dear students. It looks like if I take pi x as theta, na, this is in the form of 3 sin theta minus sin 3 theta. Sin 3 theta. So do you remember the formula of sin 3 theta? Sin 3 theta is equal to what? 3 sin theta minus 4 sine cube theta. So now what I'm going to do is take this minus 4 sine cube theta to the left side and sine 3 theta to the right side. 4 sine cube theta is equal to 3 sine theta. This goes to the right side minus sine 3 theta. So therefore, dear students, what is 3 sine theta minus sine 3 theta? What is 3 sine theta minus sine 3 theta? According to this formula, it is 4 sine cube theta. So the numerator becomes what? 4 sine cube theta divided by x minus 1 whole cube. I'll tell you one thing. When x is approaching 1, this is f of x na. F of x is approaching pi, because if I substitute x as 1, I'm getting pi here. But if it is approaching 0, I will do something. Sine cube f of x means I'll divide it with f of x whole cube. So what I should do, we have done this already in the previous problems. What I will do is 4 into sine theta is sine 180 minus theta. Correct or not? Sine pi x is sine 180 minus pi x. Sine pi minus pi x. Don't forget the cube. Divided by x minus 1 whole cube. Limit x approaches 1. 4 into sine cube of. If I take pi common, I'll get 1 minus x. Now dear students, observe this. Now if you take this as f of x, and if you substitute x as 1, 1 minus 1 is 0, 0 into pi is 0, our f of x is approaching 0, correct or not? So we are in the right track. What I will do is, since here we have 1 minus x, I would like to have 1 minus x here also. So take minus outside, minus common. When minus comes outside, it takes the power. Minus cube is minus. Minus and also 4 will be minus 4 into limit, okay na? I can write it like, if x approaches 1 na, then take x right side. 1 minus x approaches 0 only, right? If x is approaching 1, 1 minus x is approaching 0, correct or not? The question becomes 1 minus x approaches 0. Sine cube, okay, let me first write sine pi into 1 minus x. Divided by, I took minus outside na, so x minus 1 will become 1 minus x. Here also whole cube, here also whole cube, so overall cube. Now what I'll do is, instead of writing 1 minus x, I'll take 1 minus x as y. That means what? Y approaches 0. So y approaches 0. The question becomes minus 4 into limit y approaches 0 sine pi y divided by y whole cube. And what is it, dear students? When y approaches 0, sine pi y divided by y is pi only na. When x approaches 0, sine kx divided by x is k. So here also, instead of x we have y, and instead of k we have pi. So the answer is minus 4 into, this center value becomes pi with cube. The answer is what? Minus 4 pi cube. The answer is minus 4 pi cube. Okay na? We will go with next question. But we'll discuss the next question in next video. I'll make part 2 on the problems on trigonometric limits. So we'll discuss the remaining questions in next video. So I hope you understood all these problems. That's it in today's video, dear students. So if you have understood this, do like the video, subscribe the channel if you are new, and share it to your friends. Let the channel grow. So see you all in next video. This is Sandeep Kumar.